confirmed that the information was even able to get a hold of plans for TikTok to release a secondary app here in the United States called M, like the letter M as in McDonald's, and it will be TikTok only for US users.
I just want to remind you, the reason why they're banning TikTok is because it is a national security concern, okay? We cannot let the Chinese government have our data, even though they're getting it from all these other tech companies. But don't worry, Donald Trump confirmed that a group of very wealthy people are going to buy TikTok. And as you heard, TikTok's already planning on making a version of its app called M that is solely for its US users. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would they want to keep you in a box? Yes, why would they want to keep you in a box? Of course, they're going to tell you it is for your good. It's for your national security. By the way, the very government that is siphoning all of your information and spying on you, it is okay for them to do it. They're protecting you, okay? They are your narcissist, abusive husband. This has nothing to do with them just simply wanting to keep you on an app where they can curate the information you're allowed to see, where they can put you into manufactured little boxes where you're told what to think, how things are happening. This is not about separating the entire citizenship of a nation and making them completely cut off from the rest of the world so that they can curate what you believe, so that they can keep siphoning you, bleeding you dry, taking all of your tax dollars so that they can continue to bomb babies and spread freedom to the rest of the world. It has nothing to do with any of that. You guys are crazy.
First off, I just want to say thank you for clicking on this video, man. You don't know how much trouble I've been going with this recently. I had projects get ruined, shit go missing. But the reason I'm making this video today is it's a lot of suppression that's going on in today's world. And I thought it was a little bit with just hearing hearsay, but it's actually major, man. And it's been affecting me personally. And now that I'm going through it, I'm hoping I can paint a better picture of what other content creators go through and how I'm just starting to learn this. Haven't jumped into it myself and starting to do the editing and the process and then trying to get my work out there. It's a little daunting, especially when you're trying to spread the truth and you see so much going on in the world that people are just really trying to suppress it. And it's like, who can tell the truth and who can't? And how long you think you can suppress the whole world? I mean, think about how many people exist on this planet, and you're gonna just basically try to tell all of us to shut the fuck up. No, that's not possible. And I'm gonna just show you guys some videos about, you know, what I've been seeing and what I've been posting on TikTok. This is that's the main reason I made this video, because I was posting stuff on TikTok and it was the news. It wasn't a lie. I wasn't trying to, you know, trick anybody or scare anybody. It was just the truth. It was the shit that was going on in our government, that's going on with the weather, that's just going on in, like, everywhere, the world. You know, America's not the only place that's going through some turmoil right now. It's the whole fucking planet. And this whole, we just gotta not say shit and be quiet about it. No, these people don't control the world. And I don't know how woke you are, you know, looking into certain things, or how much you believe in our government. No, it's not a conspiracy. It's just people trying to get their way. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna give some examples, and I'm gonna just give some commentary of how they blocked me and some examples, and I'm gonna just let the videos run. Thanks, man.
Where it was saying if you have organ donor on your card and you get into an accident, hospitals will either let you die or actually actively try to kill you to get your organs. Well, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It has just been confirmed by a new article in the New York Times, and it says a push for more organ transplants is putting donors at risk. People across the United States have endured rushed or premature attempts to remove their organs. Some were gasping, crying, or showing other signs of life. I'm a little speechless because this is real. This is a real thing that's happened. They have so many different examples of this within this article. I read it for free because somebody posted a gifted version on Twitter. So go there to find this article if you want to read the whole thing. It's really disturbing, and this is insane. I'm going to share this story first. In 2022, when she was 38 and homeless, Miss Gallegos, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, was hospitalized and went into a coma. Doctors at Presbyterian Hospital in Albuquerque told her family she would never recover. Her relatives agreed to donation, but as preparations began, they saw tears in her eyes. Their concerns were dismissed, according to interviews with the family and 8 hospital workers. Donation coordinators said the tears were a reflex. On the day of the planned donation, Miss Gallegos was taken to a pre-surgery room where her 2 sisters held her hands. A doctor arrived to withdraw life support. Then a sister announced she had seen her move. The doctor asked her to blink her eyes, and she complied. The room erupted in gasps. Still, hospital workers said the procurement organization wanted to move forward. The coordinator said it was just reflexes and suggested morphine to reduce movements. The hospital refused. Instead, workers brought her back to her room, and she made a full recovery. And she's still alive today. Thank goodness. And if that doesn't scare you, because clearly this has happened to a lot of people, and of course we're not going to know that because they're not alive anymore. This is like so sickening and so disturbing to me that we would prioritize getting somebody's organ rather than saving somebody's life. Actually, many years ago I removed organ donor from my license. If you're concerned about that, I would recommend doing the same thing. Having that.
This is a story where a 15-year-old boy was diagnosed with blood cancer, but he developed a flesh-eating infection in his lung. He wasn't going to make it. So he has one request. He wants to go outside. And that's exactly what they do. And this was actually mind-blowing to me. After the second day, the infection is probably 60-70% gone. And it became clear to me that sunlight has so many important benefits. For instance, if you're the bed closer to the window, you get discharged from the hospital faster.
So I want you to give me any information you have as it relates to light health. For example, do you recommend these kinds of things?
I see people at the very end of their lives, so I know it prevents them from getting this ill and how to extend life. So let's distill it down into 8 pillars. The first thing, exercise reduces stroke. It reduces depression. Next, sunlight. Did you know that infrared light from the sun is able to penetrate up to about 8 millimeters and stimulate and upregulate melatonin, which prevent a lot of diseases like dementia, cardiovascular disease, diabetes.
What if you live in a cloudy country?
There's some very actionable things that you can do, and we'll talk about that. Next one, water. For instance, people who use sauna are more likely to have less death from cardiovascular disease. Next, air. There are studies that show that just going out one day a week can elevate our immune system and make us more relaxed. And then but finally, trust. This is something that can't be ignored because studies have shown that people who have trust in a God are.
We have our conscious mind separated from
a 60-year-old person taking that suddenly they're 40 years old in their skin. As is the case with most cutting-edge science nowadays, it is coming out of China and not out of the United States. So in this particular case, the study was done on engineering stem cells that were then placed into the bodies of monkeys and reversed the age of these monkeys on the order of what would be the equivalent in humans of several decades of age reversal. It's a pretty amazing and astounding result. In this particular case, this team focused on a specific gene that it is known that when this gene is expressed or overexpressed, meaning the gene is turned on, it actually creates a whole bunch of signaling molecules, little tiny molecules that then get absorbed by other cells and tell those cells to start to act young again and reset those cells. And that gene is called FOXO3. So what this research team did is they took stem cells and they engineered them using CRISPR to get them to overexpress FOXO3. And so now these cells start making this FOXO3 protein. And when that cell starts making that FOXO3 protein, it actually makes a whole bunch of other molecules, little small proteins, little molecules. They then get packaged up into what are called exosomes. These are like little packets that get sput out of the cell and they get absorbed by other cells and trigger those cells. We don't know how, we don't know why necessarily, to start acting young again. So they engineered these stem cells, overexpressed FOXO3, and then put these stem cells in these monkeys. And these monkeys were kind of the equivalent of being 60 years old. And then they looked at what happened. So what happened? Well, they looked at tissue, they looked at blood, and they did MRIs and scans of the brain. And what they found is that the monkeys' brains effectively started to get completely rewired and act like young brains again. They were able to increase their memory, increase their responsiveness, their age-related atrophy reversed, so their brains actually grew. Their bones started to grow. Their muscles started to grow. Their blood cells started to reverse aging signals. So across bone degeneration reversed, they looked at 61 different tissues from 10 distinct systems in the bodies of these monkeys after they received the stem cell treatment. And 54% of the tissue examined showed reversal of age. In the case of lungs, they saw in monkeys, it was a 4-year age reversal, which is 12 years in humans. Skin reversed by 6 years, which is the equivalent of 18 years in humans. So imagine a 60-year-old person taking this, suddenly they're 40 years old in their skin. Skeletal muscle went by 5 years in the monkeys, which is the equivalent of 15 years in humans. So imagine going from being 60 years old to having the body of a 45-year-old in terms of muscles. The spleen, the brain, all across these different systems, they saw significant signals of age reversal. And then they identified these little exosomes. These are like little sacs that are spun out of the cell, and then they go into other cells and they start to trigger all of this age reversal cascade that happens. And by the way, they saw no side effects. They saw no negative health effects. There was no increase in cancer. These are the sorts of things you typically look for. And in tissue, in blood cells, in MRI, across the board, they saw age reversal. So it was a really kind of incredible result. And I think that it opens up the door for this idea of using cell therapy based on stem cells that are engineered to be injected into blood to actually reverse aging in humans. And I think that we should expect over the next couple of years these sorts of trials to kind of begin to see if we can see similar results. There's a lot of background work, by the way, in FOXO3 in this particular gene, a lot of background work in engineering stem cells, a lot of background work, obviously, in Yamanaka factor and other age reversal that predicated this. But this particular paper, I think,
piracy died because streaming was just easier. Yeah, well, it's back. And not just a little, it is booming. People are pirating like it's 2010. How do I download LimeWire? What is it called? The Pirate Bay? Let's talk about why. So here's the deal. Back in the day, Netflix was just $7.99. I know. And it had everything. Nowadays, you need Netflix, Hulu, Max, Disney Plus, maybe Apple, and even maybe Paramount, just to watch one franchise. The subscriptions are stacked like pancakes, and each one is charging more for less. Oh, and did I forget? They're adding ads now. You literally have to pay to be interrupted. And even when you find a show, half the time it's split across 2 different platforms. Like season 1 will be on Hulu and season 2 will be on Peacock. Why? No idea. And people are getting fed up. And guess what? They're going back to Pirate Bay. Or actually nowadays, shady IPTV and Discord channels that have everything on it for free. And it's not just broke college kids. A 2023 study showed piracy spike 20% the moment content leaves Netflix. Not because people are cheap, because they are exhausted. If piracy is faster, easier, and cheaper, that's what wins. Even Netflix used to use piracy stats to figure out what content to license back in the day. Yeah, that's right. They were spying on the pirates to plan what they would show in their catalog. And it's not just movies. Live sport piracy is exploding. Police in the UK said illegal streaming is at industry scales at this point. We're talking jailbroken Fire Sticks, IPTV servers, shady Telegram groups. It's all organized at this time. Streaming didn't kill piracy. It just paused it. And now it's back because streaming got greedy. Piracy didn't make a comeback because people are evil. It came back because convenience has left the chat. If studios want people to stop pirating, they need to make it legal and easier again. Right now, it's not even close. So if you cancel the streaming service lately, you're not alone.
I just sit here. Hey man, I hope you guys enjoyed those clips. This is just the part of the video where I explain what happened. Now I'm gonna show some examples of just how much I was engaging my community just for this to get swept off, you know, out of my feet in a sense. So I'm still appealing them. They said there's a way you can appeal the TikTok ban. Hopefully it'll get through. And if not, I'm just gonna have to figure something out and just try to use this platform, and hopefully nothing jumps off with this. But let me know in the comment section below if you think this was worth me being banned or they was just reaching, man. Thank you. And the examples, I don't know if I can put them over my face or I could just show them, you know, pics, and I just start the next video because I'm really on a time frame and I ain't got that much time to edit. So thanks again for watching, man. If you could leave a like, subscribe, and a comment, let me know if you've been through anything similar. That'd be much appreciated. All right, thanks, guys. Love you, man. So as you guys saw, that's the most controversial thing I had up there was a Joe Rogan interview, man. The rest of the stuff I was posting was the weather and stuff that you see on the news. So why the ban? If you could let me know if you went through similar stuff like this in the comment section below, man, much appreciated, because I'm at a loss for words right now. It's like, what can we say? So enjoy the rest of the video. I ain't got too many clips after this. Thanks for watching, bro. Appreciate you guys.
This truck stop ain't meant for sleeping. show you what's on the backside of this truck stop. This is what they don't show you. Look, it goes right into the caves. You go through the truck stop, and you get into these caves that go any country. Any country you can get to these caves. I'll take you to the entrance. I tried to get fuel here once in the truck, and I can't get a fuel card that'll work here. It's not for sleeping. That place right there, it's not for sleeping. It's for fueling up and going over here. Look, I'll show you these flags of every country you can get to through this tunnel. That's the entrance right there. I've been there before, but security chased me. There's security right there too. Look at all the right. They asked me to show you if this is Sotropolis. You don't know about this place. Show the outside of this place. It's got this fake truck stop right here. Look, let me show you. Brand new Pilot PJ Fresh, so you know it's new. This is all the truck parking there is here.
Ever see the world the same? Did you ever consider that birthdays, often seen as harmless celebrations, might be one of the most widespread ritualistic spells on planet Earth? Beneath the surface of cake, candles, and singing lies a practice with all the hallmarks of spellcasting. Repetitive chanting, fire, intention, a subconscious agreement to age. Now let me break this down for educational purposes only, exploring how this global tradition might be more than meets the eye. Every birthday, people worldwide sing the same song, Happy Birthday, in nearly identical melody and rhythm, creating a vibrational frequency. This, performed annually on a specific date tied to your solar return, acts like a time-based trigger. This ritual includes candle magic. You light a flame, like a symbol of spirit. You make a silent wish, a spoken desire kept secret to work, and blow it out with intention-filled breath. This mirrors spell manifestation. Fire, wish, breath, silence, akin to the sigil-based rituals where secrecy amplifies power. By keeping your wish unspoken, as tradition dictates, you've also been told that it won't come true otherwise. A classic inversion tactic that seals your intention. The declaration of I am blank years old is a verbal contract, one you and your cells unconsciously accept. Everyone around you reinforces it, creating a collective identity tied to a number, not your essence. This number carries social expectations, how you should look, feel, or act at age 30 or age 50. It's not just biological aging, it's mental, social, energetic, locking you into a framework of limitations. The Happy Birthday song, the most sung tune globally, has a particular vibe, a slightly minor key, robotic delivery, and often ending in an awkward pause or a dark joke about morality. It's less uplifting, more entertaining, pulling you into a collective rhythm. Birthdays as we know them were commercialized in the 19th century, with companies like Hallmark turning them into a consumerist spectacle. The focus shifted from celebrating your soul's arrival to gifts, sugar-laden cake, and social validation. The real you, your essence, gets buried under birthday you, defined by age and external markers. This ritual reinforces group identity, not individual light. Instead of scraping birthdays, reclaim them. Shift the narrative. Rather than I'm 30, try I'm entering my next spiral or expansion, or I've grown in light. Remember we said I'm 37 years old eternal? Blow out the candle not to wish silently, but to speak your own truth boldly. Anchoring in the flame's energy. Celebrate not how long you've survived, but how much you've expanded. Your wisdom, joy, your inner fire. By reframing from the ritual, you break free from the unconscious aging and eternal embrace of growth. So next time you hear happy birthday, consider, is it a celebration or a spell?
But that is not a driver's license anymore. That is a federal ID under federal control that the federal government is allowing the states to use for people to use as a driver's license. But you'll notice it's not called a real driver's license, right? It's called a real ID. It is a national ID card. It's a usurpation of states' rights. It's a violation of privacy rights. They plan to digitize it. The DMV has testified to Congress. They plan to digitize it, put it on your phone, and have remote and real-time access to it.
This is happening right now, so I've run up against this. They tell you can't fly unless you have what they call a real ID now. I used to just use my driver's license, but that changed recently, and you have to have what they call a real ID, which is not just a state ID anymore. It's a federal ID, really. So this is really wild that we're going against what everybody thinks of America, that you don't need to have this. But here, down here, I want to read this to you. The official purpose of this. It says, the term official purpose includes, but is not limited to, accessing federal facilities. So you need a real ID if you want to access federal facilities. If you want boarding federally regulated commercial aircraft, or entering nuclear power plants. So 2 out of the 3, I'm good. And then it says, and any other purposes that the secretary shall determine. So that means they can use for anything, for any reason whatsoever at any time.
Well, Jimmy, you are ahead of the crowd here. The fact that you found that is fantastic, because most people think, oh, this is just about flying. Absolutely not. And that's one of the reasons we as a health freedom organization are in this battle, because we believe it will lead to no card, no care. And not only that, but we know that a lot of people don't have to fly, and they never will fly, or they'll fly only once, and they've already flown that one time, right? But everybody needs access to a doctor. So if Secretary Kristi Noem wanted to force everybody into Real ID, which she does, she could simply take this, because you'll notice that that statement there says the secretary shall determine. And in a rule that the Homeland Security put out back in 2008, they declared that they do not have to go back to the president or to Congress to expand these required purposes. In other words, they are expanding, they have the power to expand restrictions, restricted access, restrictions on travel. You can just imagine if you had to have it to open a bank account, to get married, to buy a gun,